do is give recognition, a very well-deserved recognition, I might add, to the 1995 Division III State Championship volleyball team. I have them sitting at the head table this year so that they can sit together as a team one more time and dine together. No steak and tail today, gals. No prime rib, but a very good meal nonetheless. And as I speak, they are bringing it out. We're going to give them just a moment to do that. And when they have everything ready and they give me the thumbs up, I would like us to go ahead and eat. And in this particular order, I would like the head table to go through first, since we have some people that are speaking at that particular table. Give them time to digest. And then what we'll do is we'll just do it by proximity, or whoever gets there first. Just don't, well, we've eaten together before. It won't be a real problem. Just get over there and grab your food and enjoy. And it is nice to be together again. Go ahead and eat.
We're going to eat now.
English teacher, thank goodness. But here's my attempt at trying to sum up the season. Don't be crying, I gotta get through this, okay? You gotta be smiling. This is a happy occasion. Happy, happy, happy. The championship team of '95. It all began to take form in the year of 1990, when a young class of female athletes, whose talents were already mighty, set out to master this sport called volleyball by passing and spiking and blocking while growing tall. In the gym and on the beach and in the backyards they played, moving quicker, jumping higher, and becoming stronger each day. Together they toiled and shed blood, sweat, and tears. Not a little, not sometimes, but a lot through the years. While their friends chose other pathways, this group persevered, for the dream they all shared was destined to appear. It's a dream that pulled them together like birds of a flock, drawing each to one another, solid like a rock. A sisterhood soon developed, becoming friends forevermore. As they worked and played together, they dared to believe as never before. Soon this group was in the high school, turning heads throughout the swall. Coaches quipped us with envy, "Where did you get them all?" The Dodgers, once the doormat, had now come into its own, and the crowds began to gather as our stars began to show just exactly what their talents were and how much they'd achieved. The fans were impressed as they filled the gym. This team was well received. Michelle Cody is the blocker, known affectionately as the Wall. She loves to torment and discourage her opponents as they fall. Just when they think they've got a way to get it past the code, she jumps and reaches farther across and sends them down the road. She's powerful too at hitting, likes the corners of the court, and when she terminates the ball, her smile suggests she enjoys this sport. Next, there's Angie Buttress, who we now refer to as Ace. She has the gift of sending the ball directly to that place where very few can dig it up. They just aren't quick enough. It's true, her swing's so powerful, her serve is super tough. Her hustle to set and pass so many balls throughout each match have made us all appreciate the fact she's one of our pack. Michelle Durnford's a great setter. She gets the ball to where our offense can take care of it and give the defense a scare. Just when a player shanks a pass and thinks that it is lost, she manages to get to it and save it, whatever the cost. Her serving is consistent and those aces are in store for the team that's on the other side. She makes them look so poor. And to this list of seniors, add the name of Captain Brooke Bourne, a leader that the members of this team all admire and adore. She encourages her teammates on the court with an iron-strong will. Her competitive spirit presents itself with each and every kill. Intensity, desire, and determination is what you'll find when we think of this great athlete. We know she's truly one of a kind. Now on to the 6 juniors that comprise this remarkable bunch, 2 of whom were starters and the 4 who sacrificed much. A true team consists of members who all care about the whole and are willing to extend beyond their will and accept their role, whose talents shine so brightly, not above and not below, but beside each of the others who are starters in the show. Garrett Chitwood's such a worker, lots of energy and more, always wanting to perfect each pass, each set, or any chore. She is quick, intense, and competitive, looking for the chance to prove that the talent she's been improving will be ready for all of you. Next year, when the ball is in her hands and the game is on the line, she'll remember her role of this year and know that now it's her time. Donna Borcherding's skills are many. She sets, she hits, and plays D. She's been pushing those players ahead of her, making them the best that they can be. Her bubbly personality lends some humor to our days. She has a way about her that keeps our spirits raised. Now her focus is on next season, working hard for one last time at the chance to go back to Nina as a senior. How sublime. Abby Von Almen's our big middle blocker. She'll soon fill a vacant spot left behind by our wonderful seniors. In '96, she'll have her shot. At the tournaments and in the season, Abby will show off her stuff as she skies in the air to put down that white ball sufficiently enough to make the other teams know that the Dodgers are back and that our strong point is still our attack. Brittany Godfrey's been a playmaker all season, coming in when we needed her most. She's an athlete that coaches just dream of, but she's ours, and of that we will boast. She's a hitter of great acceleration, like Soleil on the line. When she's up, it is best to be down if you hope to get to that ball in time. So watch out for this hitter's act next year. It's something you won't want to miss. She'll be setting the court on fire. It's a game you won't be able to resist. Sammy Schomer is the player that makes everything happen for all the other big reactions that we notice out on that floor. She's a miracle of movement in the back row, diving and digging, and making it look so easy, but it's not, we're all admitting. In the front row, she's a hitter and a blocker and a setter. She can do it all so gracefully, we think there's no one better. Nicole Rock has 2 of the hardest jobs there are in this great sport. The setter and middle blocker are positions she plays out on that court. She hits and blocks with power. On her face you'll always see a look that challenges and dares to say, come here and try to get by me. She has another year to play. She'll be there ready for the test. She'd like to finish what we've started, to defend that we are the best. There is one other player. She's the youngest of them all. Amy Riley's just a sophomore, but she plays above and beyond that call. This team has many hitters, all of whom are very good, but Amy's power truly is awesome when she hits it like she should. She intimidates the blockers that are up against her shot. She jumps so high that she's over the block. Now that's what we call high. 10 teams came before this year's unique blend of talent, and their attempts to achieve what this group has were valiant. But the titles all belong to the team of '95. It becomes the new standard for future teams to strive. To begin a successful tradition is a wonderful accomplishment. To continue to achieve is the challenge brought on by it. So as this program continues to set goals and dream of success, as your coach and caretaker, I have several tough requests. That you always remember this team's careful sacrifice when you make your decisions. Please be willing to pay that price. To work hard every day, always pushing to be the best. never settling for something that measures any less. Be positive role models. Take the more difficult choice, for many eyes are watching you. As leaders, you do have a voice. Be mindful of your teammates who depend on you for strength. This sport is based upon the premise that together you'll go the length. Resist the urge to be the same as many of your peers. Time passes quickly. Seize the day and rise above your fears. They say the sports are just a game. On that we disagree. To be successful as a team is life to a large degree. Begin today to dream about the future crowds that could cheer for us again, Anita. Let's do it again next year. I didn't know there were that many words that rhyme in the English language, to be honest about it. There were a lot of rhyming. Mark, what rhymes with time? Sublime. Yeah. Well, it's difficult, I'll tell you, to get through this without a lot of tears, but this is a happy occasion. And I'm going to bring each player up here, say a little bit about her. I don't know that I can expound. I'm going to ask my coaching staff to come up. What I'd like to do is give you a booklet with the headlines from the Chronicle and some of the other papers in it. We have a bumper sticker for your car that says Dodgeville State Champions on it, and we'd like to give you that. I'd also like to give you the plaques, that's the word I'm looking for. Some of them are still, well, they're all in cardboard boxes, and I'm going to need some help doing that. So if all three of my coaches could come up here, I would appreciate it. And gals, when I call your name off, come on up, get your stuff, I'll talk about you, and then would you just sort of make a line in front of me? Kara Chitwood, would you start us off here, please? Kara Chitwood has one of the best attitudes. This group all has great attitudes, too. To say that someone has the best is saying a lot, I must admit. She comes into practice every day, and she's got this great attitude. And she's got this super personality that just, look at her. I mean, she's always smiling, and she's peppering, and she's just a bundle of energy. And hustle and hustle and hustle, and it's difficult to accept a role when out of a group of 11, any 11 could start. And it comes down to height, and it comes down to seniority to a certain degree. It comes down to a lot of things that we obviously feel we need on the court. And it comes down to a certain amount of chemistry as well. And to accept that role and to do well in that role, to me, it just doesn't get any better than that. She is a setter, and she's a back row specialist. She is one of the hardest workers that we have. The kids had some quotes that I thought were interesting that I thought I would use today. And they put a little piece together. And her quote about the season was, "It was a really fun and successful season, and I'm happy to be remembered as a member of the Dodgeville girls volleyball team, 1995 state champions." That's the way she feels about being a Dodger. And we love her very much. Kara Chitwood. Donna Borcherding. You know, if you want, you have some statistics sitting in front of you. I don't care to read them to you because I think they're fun to go back and look at later, but I did put your conference stats in there. You're going to see how impressive these athletes are when you see all of those stats, and you just take a look at, if nothing else, the total amount of kills that these kids had. Believe it or not, our bench actually played more this year than it normally would have, simply because we won so many matches in 2 games, and it gave us an opportunity to get other kids out there on the court and get some playing time. And Donna is a hustler. She's what we call a utility player. She's another setter, but she also plays in the front row and handles the ball and hits the ball, and she's a very good defensive player, as Kara is. Personality plus, she loves to dance, and sometimes does that impromptu in the gym, whether she wants to or not, when she thinks I'm throwing a ball and I'm not throwing a ball. Her quote, "Be ready for us next year." I like that. It says a lot about Donna and her competitive spirit. Donna Borcherding. Abby Von Allman, who really is a fantastic hitter, who again rode the bench, competed against those that were out there playing, made those other hitters better. I can tell you, Abby, quite frankly, that there were more than one night when Nicole would come home pretty frustrated because you were blocking everything that she was smacking at you. And that's fantastic. It makes you better, it makes her better, it makes all of us work harder. It is a real challenge to think of drills for this group to not be bored with. And as my daughter suggested many times during the season, she didn't like all of my drills. And the other kids were polite enough not to tell me that, but she wasn't. And she let me know on one occasion that, come on, we know this stuff, Mom, we know we've got to get on to something else. The reality is that fundamentals are fundamentals, and they need to be done every night. And Abby made us much better players. She's a very powerful hitter and a very good blocker in terms of her timing. She jumps like a gazelle. I can't wait to see her next year, I really can't. And her quote, "We are coming back next year." I believe it. Abby Van Brittany Godfrey. Well, Brittany was our saving grace on more than one occasion this year. I'll wait till you get your stuff. Just a few mementos. Brittany's just a great outside hitter. Abby's in the middle. She's on the outside. Abby will be filling the mighty shoes of Michelle Cody, and Brittany will be filling the mighty shoes of Brooke Bourne. Tell me that's not a challenge, okay? And they're ready for it. They've been working hard for years, just like these seniors have, and they wanted a shot at it this year, and Brittany came in on a number of occasions, particularly in the tournament series, and just did it. Somebody was having a bad night, we threw Britt in. Whatever place we threw her in, she did the job. She either served for us, or she killed for us, or she played defense for us, or whatever. But boy, what a wonderful, wonderful thing to have coming from the bench. Someone that can just go out there and get the job done and not even necessarily be warmed up. Always mentally ready. Her quote, "Dream your dreams. If you believe in your dreams, then you'll always succeed." That's a lovely, lovely quote. Brittany Godfrey. Amy Riley. Well, Amy had a fantastic season. She was one of our starters. She plays the ace spot. We refer to that as the ace spot because that's the go-to person. You're either going to have tough outside hitters on the strong side, or you're going to have tough middle hitters. And as a sophomore, playing at this level and doing what Amy has done, to me, is outstanding. Her composure on that court. The only time that I remember Amy losing it at all this year was in that first game with Francisburg. And I could tell she was jittery. And I called a timeout, and she came over and she said, "I'm really nervous." And I said, "Well, so am I." You know, the big time. And it took her a game to get into things a little bit. And then she was back. It was like she came into her own, and the concentration was there. And the ability of these kids to get themselves mentally prepared is unequivocal. It's unbelievable. Amy made first team all-conference this year as a sophomore. She made the first team all-chronicle team. She is perhaps the most powerful hitter that I've ever seen in the outside. Brooke Bourne is incredibly tough out on the outside, but Amy, simply because she's got a longer reach, she hits over the block. That's something we just haven't seen a lot of. You generally don't see that until you get to the college level. But that poor block's thinking, hey, where'd the ball go? And the ball, in fact, went over their hands. We like that in Amy. Amy Riley. Dreams can come true. That was Amy's quote. Sammy Schomer. Well, Sammy is perhaps the most unsung hero on this entire team. Sammy does what always needs to be done so that the rest of the people can look good. And if Sammy wasn't there, we would not look very good. And I say that in all honesty. She has a utility position, as does Angie Buttress on the court. And they're running around picking up every lousy, pukey little hit that somebody bloops over the block or doesn't hit down at us and into our defense. And they're picking up what we call free balls and picking up defensively a lot of the hard hit balls. And that person that you see out there throwing herself on the floor, I don't know that she I don't think there was any gym she didn't leave skin in this year, let's put it that way. She's just flying around the place all over, picking up those balls, and then just getting back up like it was nothing. She does make it look easy, and you know, I had to turn my head on more than one occasion because I thought she was hurt. And she would simply get back up. And one of our toughest servers, I think if you look at your stats, she broke a record this year. I'm not going to go through all of that because, again, you can read it for yourself, but I believe she got 113 points this year, which broke a previous record, Steady Eddie. And we owe Sammy a lot because Sammy makes us all look very, very good and puts that ball into Dern's hands, and then Dern can make something out of it. And she's just a heck of a player. I have an awful lot of respect for Sam. Sammy is being talked about by a number of coaches in the area. Lois Pert, in particular, the Iowa Grant coach, is always commenting to me on, wouldn't your dad like to teach in Iowa Grant? And I said, I don't think so. Sammy's quote is, never, ever stop believing, because she does. Sammy Schulman. Nicole Rock. Nicole is a middle blocker, middle hitter. She's our secondary setter. She is one who made all tournament teams at Menominee and River Valley and Iowa Grant. And I'll talk about that later when the seniors get up a little bit more. But an all tournament team basically is comprised of teams that kids that stand out on a team, teams that people that you notice on a team. And I think that was difficult for our team because we have 6 or 7 standouts, and from that you have to pick 1 or 2 or 3, however many the all-tournament team is comprised of, that to you stand up and above beyond that. And Nicole, I think, should feel very flattered that she, in fact, was recognized by other coaches and officials at those tournaments, and she also was voted as one of our captains this year by her team. She has a quieter style of leadership than does Brooke, but that's all right. She made first team all-conference. She made 4th team all-state. She made the MVP of the all-chronicle team. If you look at her state statistics, I think those things will show up. She's very consistent. She plays well across the board. You know, she's a very, very good player, puts an awful lot of time into it in the off-season. I like Nicole's quote. I never ever thought my daughter would feel this way. Well, her quote is nothing like what I thought her personality was going to turn out to be, but nevertheless, I like it as a coach, and it's in your face, Cuba. Nicole Rock. I think she gets that from her grandma. I don't know if she's that. Michelle Cody. Oh boy. Well, you know, these seniors are incredible, and I meant everything I said about him in those poems. This kid is a wall, and she gets up there, and she has this great sense of timing, and I like to watch her face. I don't even like to watch anything else but Michelle's face when she nails one, when she gets a block. She comes down there. In fact, in the video you're going to see in a little bit, you're going to see her head-butting somebody on the team, or body block or something. She just gets that look in her face like, hey, I gotcha. And she's competitive. You wouldn't necessarily know that to look at her. And you know what really fries me about all of these girls is that at least on the outside, none of them think they are very good at anything, which is really kind of frustrating as an adult and as a coach to see the talent that lies here, and then they don't believe that they have it. If they believed it without being, I think, full of themselves, they perhaps could be even better, and we've really, really had to work on that through the years. That has perhaps been our greatest challenge as a coaching staff, to make these kids believe in themselves the way that we've always believed in them. Terrific blocker, terrific hitter, made the 2nd team all-chronicle team. She played the front row only, which is probably why she wasn't given some of the recognition that I believe my players should have had this year, and in particular Michelle Cody. Her quote, whatever it took, past tense, did it, done it, got it done. Michelle Cody. I think Angie, perhaps it's the spot that they play, but another unrecognized, unsung hero on our team. Angie plays the other utility, set an awful lot of balls that didn't come up into our setters' hands the way that we wanted them to, or perhaps in that particular rotation we wanted them to set the ball so that our setter had time to get to their position. Angie's that utility player, and she's another one of those players, as Sammy is, who's running around picking up all that stuff that comes back to the back row, or stuff that our front row misses that gets by a block, or that gets by whatever's going on in the front row, or someone forgets to get in the front row, which hardly ever happened, but it happened a couple of times. Angie, in tournament play this year, starting right at the beginning of the season in Menominee, I think that she should have been on our all-tournament teams. There is no question that Angie stepped it up in every tournament scene that we were at with everything. She is a very, very good hitter. And because we don't set that particular spot as part of our offense, she doesn't get the recognition that she deserves, nor does Sammy. As an outside hitter, that's a much more difficult angle to hit, particularly if you're hitting it down line, or if you're going to run the ball down and take a 1-foot takeoff and hit it across court. It's a whole different thing. And blocking, she's just a steady Eddie, and her defense is unbelievable. But where she really, really helped us this year, and in particular, I credit her with winning the state tournament championship game, are in those aces. I believe that Angie set a state record this year for 16 aces at state tournament. That is our final count, and we'll send it in. And you'll see her name in that program for many years to come. I don't think there's going to be anybody that touches that one for a while, Angie. She's also honorable mention all-conference, and she's first team all-chronicle. And her quote, unforgettable. I loved it. Well, I hope you never forget it, Angie. We won't. Angie Budger. You weren't supposed to be serious. You should hear them talking to me under their breath up here when they're coming up. Oh, boy. You know, whether you like it or not, as an instructor and as a coach, these kids all get under my skin, and in a good way. I don't mean that negatively. People say, do you play favorites? No, and we don't. In terms of grading and those sorts of things, there's just absolutely no way. But there are certain people that we truly, I think, adhere to and get along better with and have a special place in our heart for. And Michelle Durnford, we'd be quite up talking really nice things about you in your pocket in front of... We'll think of something. This is typical of her. This is typical of Michelle. She would do this in my class. We still tell Michelle Durnford stories at the middle school. Because Michelle's one of those kids that can talk through your entire presentation, even in a classroom, and then you've had it with her and you say, Michelle, what did I just say? And she'll tell you exactly what you just said. And I hate that, because you have nothing over on that. Absolutely nothing. Mr. Dan Schwartz tells a story about Michelle that I guess I'll share with you. He was yelling at their class when they were in 8th grade, and was upset because they had been yakking, and as middle school students oftentimes do. And he's hollering, and he's building up to his big finale. The veins are sticking out in his neck, and he's really booming, and looks like he's going to have a heart attack, and gets done with it, and Michelle's sitting in the front row, and he looks at her and says, well, what do you think about that? She says, I think you need a vacation. When you talk about special personalities and you talk about special people, she is one of those folks that comes up with the one-liners that will just set you back and make you take life a little less seriously. Michelle is a great setter. She hustles. She makes lemonade out of lemons a whole lot of times. When we give her a pass that we don't think is probably going to get saved, she goes and saves it. She hustles. She's very determined. Another leader on the court. Setters have to be leaders on the court. She made the all-tournament team at River Valley. She made honorable mention all-conference and first team all-chronicle team. Her quote is whatever it takes, and there's nothing wrong with that, Dern. That's a good quote. Not original, but it's a good quote. Michelle Durnford. Good poem. Well, Brooke is incredibly special, and she's special to all of us. She is our, we've referred to her as a lot of things this year, bread and butter. I call her that a lot. I call her our leader. I think she gets a lot of that from her family, her strength. Talk about her family maybe a little bit later, in particular her father, but strong leadership skills. And when she wants you to do something, you're always going to know it, and I don't mean that negatively at all. Brooke will challenge the things you say, the things you do. She will ask you point blank what the point of this particular thing is, and those things are good. They're good for anybody. I like those challenges in my students, and certainly in our athletes. What amazes me, I guess, about Brooke in particular is the way she challenges her peers. That is a strength that I don't think we see very often. It's very difficult as a 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old person to challenge your peers and to say, you know, I don't think that's what you should be doing, or maybe you should be doing it this way. She's worked very, very hard as the mom of this group when the moms weren't around, or those moms weren't around, in terms of, hey, you know, maybe we're not getting along really well right now, but we got volleyball and we got to get along, and it's going to show up on the court. And, you know, all of those things that I heard myself say through the years, I began to hear her say off the court as well. Tremendous amount of respect for this girl, tremendous amount of love in my heart for Brooke, as all of these girls have places in my heart. She has a very special place. She has worked tremendously hard. She has willed us through a very tenuous moment. She's an outside hitter. She's an incredibly powerful hitter. She plays defense like nobody's business. What I liked about, and will remember forever at the state tournament, is the look on her face when we were getting beat by Pittsville. And I took the time out, and I lost my temper, and I apologize for that. I used some words you should never use on Sunday. And she picked up on that and became very angry. There was frustration there. And after that, every time she contacted the ball, I heard this guttural sound. I mean, it was a grunt. And did she mean it? The last thing I said to these kids was, find a place on the court and put the ball there. And she did. And the look on her face, there was no more interaction with the teammates. It's just, I have a job to do, excuse me, I'm going to get it done. And she did. And that was indicative of Brooke and Brooke's personality. All-around player, all-around leader, a captain like none other. Made all of the all-tournament teams in River Valley, Mineral Point, where'd that come from? Menominee, nightmares, Iowa Grant. First team all-conference, captain this year of the all-chronicle team. Honorable mention all-state. Brooke will be playing in the, help me out, Kathy, I'm losing that frame. Thank you, Brooke. The all-star team in July, we will look for that. And I also nominated Brooke for a special award that I think we will begin a tradition of in Dodgeville, and it's for the Women's Sports Advocates of Wisconsin. She has been named a winner in that particular honor, and she'll be having dinner with her family and hopefully me that particular weekend in February. And we will be getting a plaque for the school, and hers will be the first name upon it for her leadership and athleticism. Her quote: "We may have lost the battles, but we won the war." And I believe she's referring to the conference and the Cuba City matches. Am I correct? Okay. That's a really neat quote. We may have lost the battles, but we won the war. We sure did. I love all of these folks. I don't want to lose any of them, but all good things do come to pass, come to end, and move on. And that's what growing up is all about. And as sad as we are to see these folks go, the memories will last an entire lifetime. Congratulations, girls. There's a few thank yous that I think I missed in the paper when I wrote the letter to the editor trying to address some of the many wonderful things that happened to this team and to our coaching staff as we went through this particular time in our lives. There's one person that's not here, I wish she was, Jessie Heibel. was our statistician for the year, and that's kind of a job that is difficult to talk anybody into doing. Jess was really like an assistant coach, and she sat on the bench with us, kept our book, did all of our stats that weren't already being taken care of by the coaching personnel. Jess did a very, very good job with that for us, so I thank her even though she's not here. Carrie Higgins, who came back even though she graduated last year, she decided she just couldn't get enough of us. So she came back and did those towels and did those water bottles, and this is a thirsty bunch, as she will tell you, running constantly to get water and cleaning up messes and doing those sorts of things. And Carrie is here, and I'd like to have her get a little applause if we could. Carrie. And me listening to my mother for every once in a while, I do listen to my mom sometimes. When we came back from the state tournament and I was giving a lot of thank yous, I forgot to thank the one special person in my life who probably deserves more thanks than anyone. I saw a t-shirt, I think Bramlett bought it actually, I should have. The t-shirt said something to the effect of, we interrupt this marriage to have the volleyball season. And that's a big enough interruption, but when your husband's a football coach, it's, well, you can kiss it goodbye. I think we did say goodbye in August, and now it's basketball season, so I'll see you in the spring. But truly, Mark does an awful lot of behind-the-scenes work, and today is indicative of that. He set up all of the televisions and sound systems, and he did a lot of the videotaping that you will see, and got a real sore shoulder from keeping that thing up on his shoulder and trying to get some good footage of the kids. And puts up with my constant concentration at home of talking about volleyball and not listening to anything about football because volleyball is much more important. And just all of that, and that attitude that he has to live with. I'm not an easy person to live with, and he does it gracefully. And so, Mark Van Epst, I love you, and thank you very much. I'm sorry I ignored you before. And I know he doesn't want me to say it, but I'm going to because I think it was a really neat thing, that booklet that you're looking through that has all of your newspaper articles and things. Ted Van Epst did that for you. And he's sitting back there next to my dad, and I know he's embarrassed and he didn't want me to do that, but I'm going to do it anyway. I don't listen very well. That took a lot of time and a lot of effort, and now you have him. If you didn't have him before, you've got him, and so a little round of applause for Ted. All right, special people in this room, incredibly special people. I hope you don't mind my saying it, and I hope you don't mind my getting a little mushy about it, but whether you view this in the same manner as I do or not, I hope you do. I really look out there, and I don't just see the parents of my players, I see good friends. And I have not always, I guess, felt that way about the parents of my athletes, nor would I. I mean, they're just not going to get that tight with every person that you run into. You folks have been so incredibly good in so many ways, throughout so many of my personal challenges, as well as our time with children together. And I just wanted to publicly state that I love you very much, and you mean a lot to me. And 4 of those parents are parents of seniors, and 2 of those parents were not going to be in association with. We took a vote many years ago with many of you as parents, and in particular Jeff and Chris Bourne. We felt that they should go home and have more children so that we could have more of what they were producing. And they didn't listen. Or maybe they tried, I don't know. You're all fantastic people, and I just wanted to publicly state how much I appreciate that. Some of the things that I appreciate in particular are when you had a question about something that I was doing as a coach, and certainly we're never always going to agree, you, instead of saying it and having it work its way through the negative network, I call it, you picked up the phone and you said, you know, Julie, what the hell are you doing? Or you said, Julie, can you explain this to me? And I always appreciate that, I really do. Sometimes parents think that they shouldn't do that, and I guess I appreciate the fact that you felt at ease enough to do that. And you called me at school, and you called me at home, and I thank you for that, because it leads to a better communication line, and it leads to a much better, I think, relationship. We will not always agree, and we see things from different points of view, different perspectives, but you were always in the best interest of your children, and I think of us. And for that and many, many, many other things, the little things that you did throughout the season, I am very grateful. So could I embarrass you as parents to come up here as I call your name off and accept from me the whatever it takes video for you seniors. And I'll start with the buttresses. Would you come up? Because you know what, Al, you never did. What? Did somebody say mom? Are you saying mom to me or to your mom? Okay. She wants you for something. You never gave me that hug and kiss she said you were going to come down on the floor and get. So, hey, buddy, it's your opportunity. Get up there. Alan Marcia Buttress. In front of my husband, on the lips. All right. You gotta have a little fun in this life. With the curse, please come forward. We'll put the mic on those distance here. Later, dear. Later. Jeff and Chris. What is this, coaching from the peanut gallery over here? At this time, I am going to also thank a couple other people. They're not here, and I'm sure they have good reason for not being here. They're busy people, but our administration was fantastic, letting us go to tournaments, letting us get out early to eat, giving us well wishes. I have hundreds of letters, many of whom are from our own staff and our administration, and if you get an opportunity to thank them at a basketball game or whatever for those things and for the support of your gals, then please do so. I've done it. One person in particular who he hears a lot of negative, doesn't necessarily hear a lot of positive, and talk about him for just a minute, and then I'm going to have him come up and talk to you in reference to the award that we won for our sportsmanship. But Nightwind has been a role model of mine since I was your age, actually, since I was a student. I used to babysit for Chris and Eric just a few short years ago, many years ago. And he and his wife, Lynn, have been very near and dear to me forever. And I've always respected them, and I still do. I think that Knight does so many things in that high school. And he probably has to deal with an element of negativity that is frustrating in a job and perhaps makes you question why you have that job and certainly why you are putting that much time into it. But, as we promote athleticism in females, Knight, he's coming around. He's been a traditionalist. I'm giving you a hard time, Knight. You're not a chauvinist. You really aren't. At least you don't need to be. And, so you're going to get your chance in a minute here. But he has done some fantastic things for our gals and for me. And I appreciate that. He's a wonderful person, and I love him a lot. And I just wanted him to get because I give him so many bad phone calls, you know, night this is going on, night this is going on. I wanted him to have just a moment where people were appreciative and clapped, and so here's your moment, Mr. Wynn, and then you can come on.
Well, I did want to say to the volleyball girls, and I've said it to them already individually, but what a great year for an athletic director. What a great year for high school. And the frosting on the cake was when Dodgeville community was selected as the only community that represented all the state volleyball teams up there to receive the sportsmanship award. We called WIAA and asked them if they could be down here today. And with it being pretty close to Christmas, there was complications, but they will be down, and it'll be a night when we probably have a girls' basketball game. And we will be presented a very, very nice trophy along with a flag. And I'm just so proud of our community and our sports fans. Because as an athletic director, yeah, I worry about wins and losses and championships and successful teams and things like that. But we work so hard to improve our overall image as good sports. And what a wonderful, wonderful happening when you get 2 for 1. You get a state championship and you get the sportsmanship award. And all of you sitting out there, you know, have ownership in that. The whole community has ownership in it. And I want to thank you for being such great, positive fans. And I want to thank these gals for all the hard work. And I want to thank these coaches. And I think you've heard today what it takes to be a state champion. And it certainly is different when I was competing. I just know that there's a lot of pressure put on athletes today, and a lot of specialization, a lot of off-season work, and I think that we have to realize it's not just good athletes that win state championships. They not only have to be good athletes, but they have to spend a tremendous amount of time outside of the sport and have to become very technical, because it's just not good athletes that win championships. And I think we see the parent support, the positive support. We've got a coaching staff that's been together for quite a while. Stability within that rank has helped tremendously. So congratulations to the parents, the community of Dodgeville, and especially to the coaches and the volleyball team. What a great accomplishment this year. Thank you.
I'm going to turn the program over to the kids. This is much more fun to listen to them than me, but I love to talk. We're not going to change the way the program goes, is that correct? All right. So we are going to go right to the team presentation to the seniors. You're up.
We got presents for all the seniors. They're that we can remember you by, and that I don't know, they're just kind of inside jokes, I guess. And then I wanted to present my mom two with a present from all of us standing here for the seniors, and they got you their own present, so we did it that way this year. Sure.
I was hoping that they would sort of explain those gay gifts, but I guess some of them are personal. So we won't do that. So is the next thing on the program that I left over on that table, is that the captain's, captains? Let's go, Captain.